I think on a song-by-song basis, especially when you're tracking, you have a huge opportunity to do something that is a moment that is highly reflective of your personality, that it is an opportunity that allows you to reach out to everybody else in your audience and your listeners and say, hey, this is something that me as the artist, said, yes, I love this and this belongs here. What's this red button do?
You are now entering a restricted area. You may experience a phenomenon known as true-level sound. Let's rock.
Hey, hello again, and welcome back. It is The Record Process. It is us, your true level friends. It is Adam Ackerman. It is Tom Conran.
It's us.
And it is myself, Mr. Casey Cavaliere. And we are about to embark on the fifth and final part in a 5-part series all about the tracking and capturing process behind the record process. So today we figured we've pretty much covered the basics. We got into a lot of cool stuff, and we maybe scratched the surface on some interesting food for thought, right? Let's get deeper.
Weird.
Let's get weird and wild.
I think the episode's over. Thank you.
Take 2. Here we go. We're going to need a punch on that, harkening back, episode 4. No, but for real, we're going to talk about kind of exploring the last little bit of what you can do when you're, pressing that big red record button and what you can put into that big computer box or that realo tape or whatever it is that you're putting those little sound gems into, and how we can use that and all the tools at our disposal to kind of get a little more interesting, a little more odd sometimes, and overall just kind of push that creative needle a little bit further with anything that you're doing to give it a unique quality, to give it a unique, feeling to it, and to define it as an identity, whether it be song by song or for an album or even as an artist across a career, what things will make your catalog and your music memorable, for the people that ultimately hear it and ultimately end up resonating with it. So the first thing we're going to kind of start off with, I think, which is a really big thing, and we've harped on the idea of communication already a good bit throughout this season, but I think especially getting into this really like creative, almost philosophy behind this last portion of tracking, I think it's important to kind of go back and understand how translating, almost like qualitative language into sound can be done and into a capturable element, and what that might mean. And because I think, a lot of times as an artist, it's tough, and maybe you're relying on somebody as a collaborator to kind of bring you those ideas, or maybe shine some light on some things that they've seen done or use that they can pull into the process that might be a cool avenue to take for that song. And, it's all about kind of getting there and having that back and forth and trying to picture and imagine what that might be and what that might look like, right? So I think we can start off by kind of talking about that. Adam, why don't you take us away with this? Because I know we've had some great conversations over the years about this kind of thing, so...
Totally. I mean, like, this is where, like, translating like qualitative language into sound becomes like most important, right? Because when we're talking about like getting into weird parts and more experimental parts of tracking and recording music, we're talking about really diving into the feeling and how to create that feeling within, our limited, stereo space. And, I think this is where like communication and understanding and interpretation really becomes critical from both the artist and particularly the engineer or producer, because there's just so many like different ways to make a sound feel a certain way. And I think that'd be kind of like a fun place to start with to kind of give the people an idea what we're talking about. Is I'd like to play a game similar to like what we played before with drum tracking.
Oh, a game, you say?
I want to play a little game with you guys.
No.
To the death. Over.
We are in the same room now.
We are all in the same room, so we can
This
make this
could
happen.
get
Weird. But I want to basically like throw a feeling or an idea at you guys, and I want to see how you would make that happen. So I'll give you an instrument and like sort of a prompt, and you guys tell me like as quickly as you can or as succinctly as you can like how you would attain that sound. So Casey,
Well, luckily I have my thinking cap on today, so
let me start with you. So I want to make an acoustic guitar sound like it's in the back of a cave. How do I do it?
Oh, wow. Honestly, I hope it's got an input jack because you're going to plug that in through some sort of like Big Sky or probably an H9 and just drown it out. And yeah, you're gonna go for larger than life. Or side note, put it in a cave and throw your iPhone just outside the cave.
We're gonna get into that soon.
Yeah.
Great answer, Tom. I want to make these drums sound like they're underwater. How am I doing it?
Fill a tank of water, or maybe you have a jug, a milk
God,
jug.
I hope I know where you're going with this.
You
a
throw
large
a-
jug.
Yeah, you
Do
throw.
you have a size on that?
Maybe a 5 gallon.
Fiver?
Yeah.
Okay.
You throw a condom on a 57.
Knew it.
You tie it tight. Make sure no water gets in, and then you throw that in front of the kick drum. Now, that gets you some.
Yeah.
But to make it really sell it, I don't know, put some weird like flange, some
Time-based.
yeah, some like weird flange on top of the overheads, and make it feel really topsy-turvy underwater.
Really fun.
A little bit of warble.
Casey, how do you make a set of strings feel bubbly?
Ooh, bubbly. Ooh, that's good. Honestly, I'm picturing literally picturing a bubble drop over an orchestra. This would probably come and play with like some sort of like New York Philharmonic does like Frozen the soundtrack or something.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably experiment with some sort of like really fast, like pingy delay or echo type thing, like heavy repeats. But I would also have some sort of, modulated element to it with a really fast repetition or fast rate, like oscillation rate, and see what happens from there, reverse the order. But yeah, just something that's kind of throwing. I think of it almost as, the strings are kind of, a little campfire and just throwing off sparks, out into the ether, and how I can kind of do that. And it would maybe be, a series of like quick delay into really big reverb, that just makes it feel like they're all kind of disappearing or something. I don't know, but that's a good one. I love that setup. Yeah.
Tom, how would you make a piano feel like an apparition?
Ooh,
How would you track that?
that's a good one. I like that. When I think of apparition, I think of ghost.
Yes,
When-
that is what an apparition is.
Good.
Throw a sheet over it.
Yeah. Draw some eyes, throw a sheet over it. It's spooky.
Take a photo, put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's it.
Delete your record.
Take a razor blade to some tape and record it onto that now damaged tape and have it disappear, and have it like come back through. So if you have like a tape loop, like a crinkled tape loop that you can record it onto, that'd be pretty cool. Bonus points if you disable the erase head on the RE series, space echoes, and then you can tap into that spring verb.
Cool.
Wow, honestly, that's so much better. I was just going to be like, cool, just reverb, like chamber reverb in parallel and then slowly bring out the dry signal. Like, and Fida, I would like.
I think the sheet wins though.
The sheet, well, obviously.
The sheet definitely wins.
Obviously, because we live in Instagram, you know.
Bonus round. How do you make an entire track feel more angsty? There is a correct answer for this one, by the way. This one actually has an answer.
Put more teen spirit on.
Close. Casey, what's your answer for Final Jeopardy?
Put up a sign that says no parents allowed.
Also pretty close. Both of you were really good. The correct answer was hold up a middle finger in front of a 57 for the entire length of every track on the album.
Oh, that's good.
So that's a hostage calm secret. I don't know if I'm supposed to know that.
Oh.
But
that's some real behind the scenes shit.
That's some real behind the scenes shit, dude. But I mean, that's why their shit felt so angsty. Is there was a middle finger track on every single.
That's right. It's like the it's like the Wilhelm pick slide. Oh, I'm not going to give this one away. Am I? Maybe.
First describe what the Wilhelm scream is, Case.
We can probably start there. That's probably more of an interesting and applicable thing. But then I will get into.
I used to be able to like get it down to like
so well and actually this kind of like plays
pretty good.
yeah that's good.
That was scary good.
It's terrible.
Comment
Throw
below
a sheet over that and I'm out of here.
Tom's Wilhelm scream 1 to 10. Tell us what you thought.
Good lord. So I guess like the Wilhelm scream basically just like a old school sample. I don't remember the exact origin of it, but it's quite similar, not dissimilar to what Tom just shared with all of us, ironically enough. But it's a very famous, sound recording that's been used in a lot of everything from movies to a lot of music, like backing tracks and things like that. And it's just a very like iconic sound that I'm sure heard if you've seen any semblance of like thriller, like old school horror movie, or some of those soundtracks, or even just like spooky Halloween soundtrack, whatever, when you walk into like a Halloween spirit store, right? Like you've heard them, they're all over. But the idea being that it's these like pre-recorded sound effects. They're organic sounds that you can bring in to evoke certain things. And that is a very legendary one. Maybe, Tom, you can speak more to the actual origin of it.
It wasn't even a voice actor. It was like an actor on set during like this 1940s film. And it's kind of like a inside gag with like I think it's not like contractually obligated in every major release, but like every sound designer is trying to throw it in there.
Trying to get it in there.
Yeah, it's fun, it's funny. It's like a cool, kitschy thing.
Right.
In the film community.
Yeah.
Right, which also, leads me into, basically the origin of, I really probably shouldn't even say this, but the idea of, maybe coming up with your own Wilhelm sound for us guitar players. Maybe it's that golden pick slide that you sneak in there somewhere on the record. I don't know. Maybe that's been a thought that's been passed around the community, passed around the scene a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm not telling you that. But, for all you know, maybe there's a Wilhelm tambourine floating around out there,
Well, and the point of all of this, basically, especially of this exercise in its essence, and we kind of blended tracking and mixing a little bit within that. But, it's to get into the fact that like there are quantitative ways to turn these qualitative like things into audible sounds, be it through like distance or be it through compression or additive effects or things like this to like make more out of the performance. And like that's when I feel like as artists and as engineers, it's where all of us kind of meet together on the creative side of things and just go, okay, how crazy can we make this? And like, really, I mean, like it is a pretty important part of the tracking process, because this is the part where like you're going to make something that's totally unique and your own. And this is your moment to do that one thing that's just been itching the back of your brain where you're like, man, I can't wait to try this piece of gear, or I can't wait to make this space work for me, or like, I'm sure we'll have a ton of anecdotes. I think that's where we're going to end